Greetings, SpeedGaming. Tonight we have a Crystalis randomizer race. We're in the losers bracket, but this is going to be a hype race between PMAkfal and crossproduct. Both of these guys had some tough matchups that landed in the losers bracket, but they have a chance here to come back up and make it back into the grand finals. So this is a best 2 out of 3 match. We've got the semifinal flags. Cross is just about ready here, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm joined, so this is the Axeman, and I'm joined here with Tornell.
Hello.
So we have the semifinal flags. We have these flags are actually pretty challenging, and there's kind of a lot of randomness in how the items can get laid out here. We've seen a lot of good stuff, and so these runners have no idea what's going to come up for them. All right.
Yeah, so this is story mode required flags, which means they have to defeat all of the main bosses, get all 4 swords, and have all 3 bows, as well as flight, to finish the game. I was trying to think if these two have played previously. Let's see. I think they did in the Swiss rounds. And we're getting started here, looks like. PMAkfal went so quickly I couldn't even read what that was. I got it from Cross. It was Deus Pendant. And the Sword of Water.
Oh, so we do not have a guaranteed sword at the start, but apparently we're getting. But it's the Sword of Water, and that Sword of Water actually doesn't unlock much with these flags. You can build the bridges, but what are you going to build a bridge to? Well, I guess we'll find out.
Gets you to a block cave. I'm surprised they didn't check rage. There they are now, okay. Oh, and that's the sword he wanted, so now he can get the Sword of Fire. That's hilarious. So now they can make the bridge into the answering machine, which gets them access to the Dolphin and Asina and Portoa. So basically, 2 more checks. Yeah, 2 sword start. What is this seed?
It's one of the things that can happen here.
That's what happens when you let me roll the seed and Matrick isn't able to do it.
So the water sword, we can build bridges, but without something else, the bridges aren't any much useful. However, we're able to build the bridge to the across the way to the answering machine, and that gives us access to the Mija message. We need a medical herb, though, and it looks like there's no medical herbs in in Portoa here. The medical herb
is in the end leaf either, if I remember.
So, yeah, the medical herb would be what we need to give the dolphin. So they might put off getting the queen. Actually, we have a little divergence here. Crossproduct's going to go in. He's going to see what the queen has, even though he doesn't have a medical herb for the dolphin. And he's actually going to be able to get 2 items here and a hint for. Ooh, and we see the Sword of Wind is on the Angry Sea. So with the story mode flags we have, all of those swords are required. So we are going to see the runners need to go out to the sea and get that.
And we found Key to the Stick Sea in the first chest in Waterfall Cave.
Looks like crossproduct redoing that just to make sure he saw that right.
Oh man, flail guys, just what I like to see. And looks like crossproduct is going to do the Cordell playing side of the world instead of going to Waterfall Cave. Not a bad play, because it gives you a lot more checks early on.
That's right. This is a very hyped divergence, because there's a lot of checks. Well, there's 3 checks in the Waterfall Cave, and PMAkfal still hasn't gotten the news about the Angry.
Yeah, he did check the answering machine too, so he'll get there eventually.
On the other hand, though, that the dolphin and Asina there in the back, that's something that if you forget about it for too long, usually it's something you do right away, and if you wait too long, it can be something that you forget about.
Oh, the moon.
Oh, that's a bow of moon.
Don't forget, though, crossproduct did not check the dolphin, so he could very, very well forget about the dolphin as well. Thinking that he already did it because you went there once.
So Cross went right over the bridge here, into the Cordell Plains. He hasn't actually checked any of the chests in Mount Saber South, but that's pretty reasonable given that he kind of needs to come back here, maybe get some medical herbs. Oh, and he found medical herbs.
Yeah, a while back you mentioned how if you have a lot of healing, you'll go ahead and do the rest of it, and I like that tactic. I've been using that lately. But without any healing, I don't blame him for going straight to the town first.
The caves in Mount Saber South there, you've got a lot of caves, and those caves could be kind of, you got some confined locations, and you get some troll enemies in there. It can be a little tricky.
And there's no checkpoints throughout, so if anything happens while you're there, like you die or have to leave, then it's quite a big time lost to have to come back again.
The key to prison on the bush there.
So potentially, can give them one more check on Saber North if they get access to that. Or if they get flight, they can go in the back way.
The back of the waterfall, actually I didn't see the first, oh wait, okay, so the back of the waterfall had the bow, the other chest was just a
Yes, and the first item was the key to Stixie.
Just a consumable in the back of Aurelius's basement.
So Cross Product will likely go to do Mount Saber West after this.
I noticed we do have we have the hazmat suit from Asina here. It looks like both runners remembered to talk with her twice to get the second item. So we'll see if they take that to the swamp too. It looks like Cross Product may be
doing that, yeah, which surprises me because at this point it's only one check since they don't have Sick Flute or they don't have telepathy. It just gives you the access to my pupil, Stom. Wonder if we have Stom in the chat tonight. Doesn't look like it. Oh, what was the dolphin? Did you see what the dolphin had? I missed that.
Oh, I did miss it, yeah.
Dang it. I meant to look at it, and I got distracted.
Was K-File able to get it, though? I don't think he has a medical.
I think he did he not? Well, no, you're right, he wouldn't have. Cross is the one that bought them, never mind. Unless he happened to find one somewhere, which he didn't. And... oh yeah. Cross...
taking a wild warp, and then just for safety, and then using the boots to come back to Portoa. Okay, I guess he's probably going to do Waterfall Cave now.
Yeah, that's some interesting routing, though. I guess it makes sense, though. That way when he goes back... well, so, I don't know, because you're going to have to come back to this side of the world after you do the Stom fight, if you use the glitch to get past it. So, I don't know. Oh, he's doing the dolphin now. That's what he's doing. Good. We get to see what it is. See if the dolphin just throws the thing back at you, or has something useful, like the Orb of Wind.
Ooh,
so when they get that Sword of Wind, they'll have an orb for it.
yeah, not progression, and, it's not going to be anything we can actually use until we get that sword, but...
so that makes me wonder if someone was riding the dolphin and dropped their sword with the ball in it, and the dolphin was able to get the orb back, but not the sword.
So we have an interesting setup here with items all over in different places, and we don't have teleport, so we're having to get all these warp boots, and we got to beat enemies to get gold. We have just sort of a pretty wild start here, actually, even with all the.
And Cross is choosing to walk back to this side of the world again.
Maybe trying to save his warp boots?
Yeah, I mean, with the low money, I don't blame that part of it, but... Interesting, he decided to go check the dolphin, that one-off check really quick. I guess so he wouldn't forget, maybe.
Oh, he's gonna go climb the mountain.
That's all he has left at this point.
Unfortunately, he's poisoned. I don't think he has any more medical or any more antidotes.
That's unfortunate. For those of you that do not know, poison in this game is a permanent status effect until you cure it, and it will kill you. It won't stop at 1 HP, it'll just straight up kill you.
There are a few tricks, like if you can get another status effect, or if you can let an opal statue pop. If he's willing to let that pop, he can.
Which he just...
It looks like he's going to, yeah.
That is one item that when your health reaches 0, it will automatically heal you back to full, but it consumes the item when it does it. And there are only 3 of those in the entire game, so they're pretty useful, especially later on in the game. Having to burn one this early is not ideal, but it keeps him from having to leave and come back, saves some time.
So we get a lot of enemies early on here that we can use to grind on. Cross product taking advantage of that to get some extra gold and experience, get some level ups. And Kfal also going into the swamp just to trigger his one check.
Ooh, windmill key. So it gives them
That
access to
one
3
too,
more
yeah.
checks. We know they cannot find the sword there, though, because it is on the Angry Sea, which is required to get through the rest of the cave.
But we could easily see some of the items that we're going to need to get there in the windmill cave. That's actually 4 checks if you include the
Oh, that's right, the entrance,
refresh
yes.
spot in front of the cave.
Right. And Kfal is doing the Stomp fight, so we'll get to see what this contains. We'll also find out what item Tornell wants on top of... Ooh, did he do it too early or not? Oh, he did not, okay. Teleport. Oh, that's very useful.
Ooh. And that's actually really big because that's
Yes.
access to Mount Saber North.
And I missed both times which bracelet Tornell wanted.
It's actually the Storm bracelet.
Okay. So that is randomized in these particular flags. You can want any of the 4 bracelets in the game in turn for a item. Kfal checking his
Kfal
dolphin.
remembering his dolphin too. And cross product taking that windmill key here. This is definitely the high percentage play.
Definitely. I mean, there's not much else that he could do. I mean, he checked all of Saber West he can get to right now, so it's really all he can do.
On the other hand, if the real progression is up here, cross product hasn't been to the waterfall cave, so he's missing that bow, which he needs, and the key to Stixie, which is very likely going to be useful. That's something that could come back.
It's very true. Now, I did say there's nothing else he can do. He can still do the Stomp fight and get his teleport spell. Don't want to look past that because it gives him access to Saber North if he does that. That's something else I didn't think about earlier.
That's true, and not to mention its teleport, which is,
Super useful.
wow, talking about
nice.
super useful.
So the nice thing about teleport is it does the same thing that Warp Boots does, but it uses only 20 MP instead. So you don't have to spend money on expensive Warp Boots throughout the entire game, or have to worry about stocking them, because you have limited inventory space.
And those were speed boots at the entrance of the windmill cave.
And I always forget, what's the percent faster it makes you? Do you remember the...
I think it's something like 50%.
It's
Maybe
very
not even
significant,
that.
whatever it is. Yeah.
Change?
Which will be useful to get to the west side of the world, more than likely. And Speed Boots, which is something Magic likes to talk about all the time, is one of those items that the earlier you get it, and the longer it takes your opponent to get it after you, the bigger advantage you have, basically, because it makes you so much faster, it kind of exponentially grows the advantage throughout the game. Oh, it's 25%, Steve says. Okay. So, cross products. Did he get
So
the
Steve
alarm
pointing out
flute?
the speed is
did,
from
okay.
2 pixels a frame to 2.5, so it's only 25%, but it's still pretty big overall. Oh, telepathy. Now that is not just, now we have actual logical access. So we have a glitch available that we only needed teleport to reach Mount Saber North. But now that we have telepathy, that's actually logical access to Mount Saber North. So that's definitely where we're being pointed to.
I always enjoy seeds where they make you go Saber North early. This feels very classic.
Now, on the other hand, that check isn't necessarily so that telepathy is useful in a few places, but in this case, it's not something we actually needed to get to Mount Saber North. If KFAL kind of skips that and it ends up not being something that they really need, it could give them an advantage.
And one other thing it gives you access to, though, is the town of Oak. It gives you 2 more items you can get there, which they have access to Oak currently. And they both
That's
have
true,
been there
yeah.
already, so...
And then now they have teleport. It's actually a fairly quick couple of items.
Which Cross is about to get his teleport. Probably be very happy to get that. But he goes straight to Oak. Yep, that's what he does.
So a mother is missing their child somewhere a little bit outside, and you just got to go through the swamp here, pick them up, and then the people of Oak will be friendly to you. So we've also got the change spell, which let's see, we could get something at Amazon's. We have a trade-in item there. We haven't seen who needs that trade-in.
So Oak was a bust. 2 consumables. Looks like Cross Product is leaving to go back to Saber North, if I had to guess.
Hopefully. So Oak is actually slightly closer than Bryn Mawr, if you don't mind going through the swamp here to get to Mount Saber North. So having not actually talked to the rabbit, then he has to... So, KFAL actually talking to the rabbit. He won't need to do this this trick, but
he
Cross Product
hasn't...
just finding little gaps.
I don't think he triggered the kidnap here. Did he earlier?
Oh, he might not have.
Maybe he did when he went through. I didn't pay that much attention. He might have talked to Zebu first. And he just went back to where he was. No, he went to Oak. Never mind. He's going to take these 2 checks that we know are kind of useless at this point.
And Akahana taking in the he's taking the statue there. And Steve Hack's pointing out something useful here, that the speed boots are indicating that we may have to go to the tornado bracelet chest on Mount Saber South.
That's true.
At this point, a one-off check that's kind of out of the way, but when you've got the items for it, it could definitely happen.
And that one doesn't take that long compared to some of them either. Let's see what Cross Product finds in his first chest on Saber North. Flight! Oh man.
Oh wow.
So that's one of the items that we need to not only get to the end of the game, but also to the next side of the world at this point. And since they have changed, they have access to majority of the game at this point. The only thing they cannot enter is Goa and then one item in the Oasis Cave. You can get to the back door of Goa and get the Carmine level items, but the rest of Goa is not accessed to them until they get the Sword of Thunder.
Oh, don't forget that other chest here.
He remembered barely, I think.
have in Mount Saber North here, we have sort of 2 chests in the caves, and then there's another chest at the key to prison location near the prison area, and then we actually have the boss, and since we've got the key to prison, we'll be able to get another item at the paralysis spot past the boss, assuming we actually beat him and take him out.
Yeah, at this point, if I were Cross, I would go back to Nadairs and heal, and then fly up the ramp. Yeah, that's what he's doing, looks like.
Kfal is making the play at the tornado bracelet spot.
Consumable.
And unfortunately, yeah, it's just a
Magic Ring's not bad, but it's not worth the time it took to get that. Steve. So cross-checking his last chest before the boss. And it's another consumable. Have we seen any mimics this game? I don't think we have.
I don't think so. No mimics yet. But, so Mount Saber North... Oh, and not checking the boss.
Oh, it's rising. Oh wait, he can backdoor the boss. That's probably what he's thinking, because he has flight now.
That's true, yeah.
But I guess not. He's just going straight to Swan at this point, looks like. Maybe stopping Joel just to get the waypoint, but... I'm a little bit surprised he didn't check Kelbesk. I would have totally checked him.
Yeah. It's a boss that you have to beat anyway for the story mode requirement. And where's he going now? Taking a roundabout way to go to
he's a little bit lost.
It's a little faster to go the other side of the island here, but we'll get there. And since we have change, we'll be able to get right through and get to this area of the map where there's going to be a lot of items.
Yeah, the only thing that might hurt him is if Kelbesk or the spot after him, the paralysis spot, had another sword. Obviously, he doesn't have Sword of Wind, but it could have Sword of Thunder.
Yeah.
Which should be a big find.
He'll be back, he'll be back there eventually. Maybe sooner than later, but we'll see.
I guess the fact that we had access to this side of the world already kind of, makes it unlikely the Sword of Thunder is there to teleport you over here, but it's still possible.
And it's also quite possible that there's something just useful there, like another orb or a bracelet, maybe an accessory like a power ring. You never know.
Something, or barrier, something really useful to get early on. So Cross is checking Deo here, which is another consumable. One more thing to keep in mind, Cross probably never did do the waterfall cave, so he's missing a bow that could come into effect later on in the game.
That's right, he's missing a bow, and I believe it was the key to Stixie there?
Yes, that was the first time, you're right.
And that's something that that they'll have access to now with Flight.
Yes, they have access already if they choose to do it. Cross making a checkpoint before he gets the item in the pyramid. In case he doesn't like it, he can reset out. Broken statue, so that's one piece to the Sword of Wind.
Kfal making that play to the back door that we were talking about. Gonna check Kelbeck. At this point, our swords are not... so we only have level 1 on the sword, and your sword's charge level determines its power. So this is going to be a tough fight, but we also have lower scaling, so it's not undoable.
And he looks like he is not weak to either sword, so Kfal's saying, nope, forgetting that. At the same time, Crossbonic is facing Dragon, which is a pretty easy fight as long as you get in the right spot before you start stabbing. Because his movements are completely manipulatable, which is totally a word.
Yeah, going up on the top there is probably not recommended. Usually, that's not the right way to.
Yeah, those lightning shots that he shoots out are the hitboxes are really wonky. They go out further than they look like they should.
And it looks like KFAL making the same call about heading up here after checking Kelbest there, which is good information. You know,
Yes.
Cross may come back there before getting the sword and have to do the same tink process. Meanwhile, taking these deaths on an easily beatable boss, Cross Product giving KFAL some time to catch up.
I mean, it could be worse. He could die to the vampire. Like, multiple times. Oh, he finally defeats Dragon there.
And of course, we see Cross Product a little bit ahead, but he's ahead as far as further on the boss here. But KFAL has a couple items that Cross Product's going to need. So really, these runners are pretty even.
Some more divergence here. KFAL is choosing to go to the Chiron side of the map, and looks like he's going straight to Stixie. Or he might just be checking his first item. We'll see. Either way, these are items that Cross Product did not check. Mimic!
There's our first Mimic, finally. Most likely, we're going to get a few more here, because there are 6 chests in Stixie here, assuming that's where KFAL is headed.
I wonder if he'll check the one item he can get to in Hydra. Oh, another Mimic! Across the side.
Both runners in high-density areas. This is going to be an interesting next.
I did not see if Cross Product got the first item across the river there. Oh, glowing lamp. So Cross Product has access to the Sword of Wind now on the Angry Sea.
KFAL checking the second item on Mount Hydra, and it's the fog lamp. That could be interesting.
Definitely could be. We haven't seen hardly any trade-ins at this point. Nobody went and checked the realist, did they? I don't think they did.
I don't think so, no.
Well, there's another trade-in item, Crystalis plant. Oh no. Oh, that was nice, KFAL. I don't know how you did that, but good job. Kinda got stuck between the barriers there, but you made it over. Refresh, he needs that right now. Perfect
wow.
time. Another
Great
Mimic!
time. I'm surprised we're not seeing either runner trying to beat the Mimics, which they drop a lot of gold.
Yeah, I guess with teleport isn't as crucial.
The Flute of Lime.
Oh, I missed the axe chest. Did you catch it?
Oh, shoot, I missed it too. Not that I ever would.
Oh, Matrix here. Hey,
Completely
Matrix.
out of character for me to miss that chest.
Sacred Shield. Oh man, I can't keep track of this. Too many items are checking at the same time. Cross Product choosing not to go check Carmine, which is also interesting. He's checking Arillas, which I was just talking about. So you have to use a change spell and turn it into a lady, because they only like ladies in this town, and they want a beautiful charm, which is the love pendant, which he has. And it's just a medical herb. That's all that build up for that.
KFAL found the Orb of Thunder in Stixie there in the last chest that he checked. Looks like he's gonna check Chiron.
And that would be my guess.
I think it's the only thing that he's got left up in this area.
Yeah. Oh, and crossproduct going to get his Sword of Wind now. Which I think he has the ball for that as well, correct?
That's right, yeah, I think we found that somewhere up there. Right in between there.
This has been a crazy seed so far. Really, just very unique. So many consumables early on, this is insane. I like this play, but crossproduct skipped a chest just there. He's going back for it. Okay, good.
Okay.
Going to Evil Spirit Island, which is 9 checks if he can beat Sabera. 7 if he cannot. Psycho Shield, that's worth going back for.
Okay, if I'll remember to check Deo too.
Who would miss Deo? Come on. Yeah, at this point, I would say Cross is a little bit ahead logically to some degree, but the fact that we know that there's a bow that he did not get, and we know where it is, that could definitely give PMAkfal the chance to catch back up that he needs.
That's right. There was useful stuff in Stixie, but nothing that's sort of like a killer blow. And in fact, getting that Sword of Wind was a pretty big play.
Yeah. Which I'm trying to think, where did... Oh, he got that on Carmine's area, so PMAkfal will get that soon as well, probably, within the next few minutes. I don't think Cross found anything in that part of the island that was useful, did he? I mean, he found the iron necklace, I think it was about it. Well, I didn't see that last item, though. Moon was in the waterfall cave, in the Sword of Water spot. PMAkfal just beat Dragon, right? So I'll mark that off.
It looks like PMAkfal's making that play to go in the back here. Get his, he's gonna
Ooh,
get
Sword
his...
of Thunder!
Oh. Oh, good.
So crossproduct gets all these swords. He go back to Zombie Town to finish off that section of the game.
Yeah, everything is open now that we have all the swords.
What?
We are on the other hand though, we're lacking a lot of power for our swords. Oh, and crossproduct, he found the Flute of Lime back there as well. So
Yes,
he's
he
going to
did.
be able to get all the checks and get the hint here from Stone Dakana, or from the Stone People.
Yes, so
So this may actually catch him back up and yeah, really crucial point here.
yeah, pretty much everything I said about PMAkfal having a chance to come back goes away with this play right here.
And with that being said, we've got a lot of race left here.
There is
We
a lot,
have
yeah.
the entire Goa Fortress, and we still have 2 more bows to find. So, you know, a definite lead, but not...
Yeah, it's a lead. It's not over yet by any means. Yeah, I didn't mean to make it sound like that. Yeah. You know, all it takes is a death here and there, or, you know, a bad check near the end of the game to get the last bow, or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can happen. As, you know, someone that's lost to my co-commentator several times in ways like that can attest to that.
So the hint that we're getting from the stone people was the orb of thunder. So that means so the orbs are actually fairly low down on the list of things that the stone people will give a hint on. So that means there's no bows. We know there's no swords since cross-product has them all, but there's no bows in the Crysta plant cave or the fog lamp cave. On the other hand, that doesn't mean that they'll be able to be skippable, because you can potentially have a trade-in item or something else that locks the bow that can be there. So, not necessarily useless.
I think the only trade item they're missing at this point is the ivory statue. Oh, never mind. He has
Not
that.
anymore.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. As soon as I say it. So I think other than what, balls maybe or bracelets could be in there, it might be useful, but or is that the case? I always forget the order on that.
Kfal making the play back to General Kalbesk here, finding out that he is weak against the Sword of Wind that he picked up, and he's going to have an extra boss on crossing.
And one more check behind the boss. Oh, burning his opal statue there. Not a bad fight to do that on, though. Ooh, that was close. And remembering to check that last spot. Power ring. Oh, wow, that is huge.
That's a good find.
So that make all the remaining bosses in the game, much easier.
On cross-product side, he's putting that off and instead checking Mate 01.
Which is weak to whatever sword he just had equipped.
Looks like it's also Wind.
Okay, yeah, it was.
Kfal making the Evil Island play. He's going to pick up his everything that cross-product got there, and eventually the Thunder Sword, and he's going to even this out.
You see, Cross is taking a lot of time on this fight that Kfal with that power ring will not have to do more than likely.
Cross-product does have 2 levels on Kfal now. He's only got 2 scaling, but those 2 levels are making up some advantage, but...
Orb of Fire.
A nice power-up and a necessary boss, so... Plus, cross-product's gonna probably go to Stixie here.
Or he'll check Hydra. It's also a possibility.
At this point, they have everything they need to go through Goa. Although, on the other hand, they don't have very powerful swords, so the bosses there could be kind of trolly. So checking Stixie to get some extra power-ups is, pretty good.
So he chose not to do any checks on Hydra, which is still quite a few checks, but Stixie has more, so I don't dislike this play.
So Kfal checked the second item on Mount Hydra, which was the fog lamp. And that may encourage him to put off Hydra a little longer. Cross-product very glad to see refresh here, probably.
Yeah, I would say so.
And Kfal making up that level difference. Now he's all caught up on levels. He's going to get his Sword of Thunder in a little bit, and there's that closeness that we were talking about. And it was an opal statue in my chest there.
was curious if Kfal might reset, try and do Sabera, then get the sword. Interesting tactic. I mean, you're taking a gamble that she's not weak to thunder. But...
With teleport, not a big deal to come back
Yeah.
there, and the sword was in out of a way place. And I like coming back here and just finishing this off right away. Something that crossproduct hasn't done.
Yeah, I like it because you can do it. You have all 4 swords. She's fairly easy with what you have.
And Kfal has the power ring too.
Yeah, exactly. But it could also give you more bracelets or whatever for the, Goa. So it's pretty quick to potentially have a lot of payoff.
You do have to get past the vampire here.
It's 5 more checks still, so I like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more checks. Orb of water.
There's those orbs. So we do have a sword charge glitch that lets you swap the power levels of your sword. So if you have one sword that is at level 3, you can kind of swap that level out to another sword. We don't have any bracelets yet, though.
Bow of Truth.
Wow.
This is definitely a good play.
Crossproduct is going to come back to. But if Kfal finds all of the bows first, then he may be able to kind of go through Goa Fortress without having to check every chest, and that could be an advantage.
Definitely would be. Crossproduct is checking the rest of Hydra here. I kind of like this play. We'll see if it pays off or not.
It looks like we have the vanilla weakness of fire for Sabera 1.
I also like the fact that after he is done with Goa, assuming he has what he needs, he can go straight to the end of the game. Doesn't have to worry about trying to remember which bosses he beat and didn't beat and all that good stuff.
That's right. And Kfal needs to remember to do Maple 1.
Ooh, Mimic. I have no idea how many we missed, but that's at least 4. Barrier. Also very useful before you go to Goa. Oh wait, he didn't check Clark.
Oh no! That's a big miss, potentially.
Yeah, hopefully he does not have anything important. Oh, he's going back. I think he remembered. Good.
Yeah.
Good plays.
Oh, but back there. And Crossproduct may be making the play to go straight into the back of Goa here.
Checking the power ring spot, vanilla power ring spot.
Now, I didn't see anything else of note on Mount Hydra, did you?
No, I missed the second to last item. The one that's usually a mimic, like in vanilla. But the last item was definitely a mimic. And that's a mimic there. Poor Cross, always finding his mimics. The funny is, Kfal's checking the exact same thing right now. So where is Cross going now? Oh, he's sword charge glitching.
That's an interesting play.
I've done this a few times before I go to Carmine, just because, it can't help you on Carmine. I don't think he knows you can do it in this room right here, though. You don't have to go out to do it.
You can actually do it right here.
You can do it way up at the top of this, too. But not a huge
anywhere in this whole entrance area, it's all savable.
Yep.
So we have an interesting combination of checks between these two guys.
So I'm trying to remember where Cross got the ball of fire. Where was that? Oh, that was Mado, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, slime time. Oh, he wants a fog lamp, which they had that. I didn't see what it was on across the side mirrored shield. Almost reset worthy.
I don't believe the mirror shield adds a.
It doesn't, I don't think. It doesn't have any scaling, I think you're right, yeah.
KFal still hasn't checked the items back here.
I don't remember there being too much. The glowing lamp was... I thought the glowing lamp was back here, I guess not. Tornado bracelet.
Meanwhile, KFal gonna have a much easier time. Not only does he have the barrier spell and walk right through those things, he's got the power ring. He's gonna take Carmine out much faster.
Well, he does not have the ball for that sword, though. I don't think, unless I missed it.
That's right.
No,
yeah,
he hasn't done Mado yet, that's right, yeah. So that will slow him down a little bit, but the power ring will help a lot.
And barrier, since that just
Oh,
lets
yeah,
you get
barrier.
up there and stab him, yeah.
It helps a lot, yeah. Looks like cross product is going on in the Mado now.
So they're guaranteed to have the sword, but this is not going to be an easy fight, especially if it ends up being the sword that doesn't have the higher level.
Yeah, if Cross is lucky, it's the tornado, the wind weakness for Mado here. They both be Carmine, I should mark that off. KFal decided not to check Mado.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see him go in the front of Goa here, which gives you more options to use the sword charge glitch, and it also lets you trigger the massacre, which you need to get Mado 1.
Yeah, it's a very good strategy at this point. I think it's interesting that KFal decided to nope out and Cross Product did not, when KFal is way better equipped than Cross Product at this point.
Cross Product putting on some levels, that's going to make this fight a little more bearable.
Yeah, he has higher level and less scaling. So he's not weak to wind. If he's weak to thunder, that helps a little bit. Oh, he is. That's spread on that helps some.
Yeah, he's gonna reset to get this fight started off right, and he should be able to take this. He should be able to take care of this.
And rabbit boots will make it a little bit easier. You could even do iron necklace to not take as much damage if you wanted to.
With refresh, you're probably better off with the rabbit boots to get that charge.
Yeah, he has plenty of magic too, I think. At least a couple rings in there.
Yeah, even with only the level 2 sword, one of the easier ones you can do. And KFal, let's see if he uses the glitch here.
He uses his own glitch.
So KFal's using the sword charge glitch here to get the level 3 thunderstorm. Oh, but he's gonna have to. Okay, he's gonna have to do it again in order to make sure he's got the power ring equipped. Because once you've executed this glitch, you can't use your menu, or else it'll undo it.
It's actually really exciting to see they're both doing different tactics on the fortress here. Shuffle loot, thanks. Yeah, KFal also utilized a skip that he discovered to skip behind the boss there, so you can get to the room where you can save and do the glitch without having to fight the boss first.
So going back and forth there, the checkpoints. So the way the checkpoints work, you have to go a certain way through the transition. So in order to kind of get that checkpoint there, you have to actually come back down into the area where Zebu is. Oh, and there's another minute.
We're up to at least 6. I think I missed one, maybe somewhere. Oh no, it's a bad place to take the slime. Oh, he has the fruit though. How useful! Oh, he's like, no, I want to save that for later. Which is not a bad play because you can check this other item now and then check that spot on the way up to the boss. So I missed what crossproduct checked up there. Didn't see what that item was. Oh, another mimic. Or is that the one you already found? It's not the same one, right?
No,
I'm
we
gonna say
haven't
it's
seen that
not.
one yet.
Flame bracelet.
That's a good one to get. Did K-Fal get the third item here? He
I
might
think
be
it's
looking
maybe
around
what he's
for
looking
it.
for. Yeah.
This area is pretty easy to get lost on if you don't know it real well.
Yeah. Cross usually gets lost here, so I'm surprised he didn't. He finally, I guess, learned it. And he just found the insect flute.
Oh, and there's his Fruit of Weapon, which would have been useful just a little bit ago.
Well, he had one, he just didn't want to burn it, I guess.
I believe we also saw an insect flute.
Yes. I hope the last bow is there. Where else could it be? There, well, they don't have 2 bows, so they can't do the crypt.
It could be, so I think the trolliest spot right now would probably be on the store bracelet trade-in with Tornell on the mountain.
Yeah, I
so
think you're right
you
at this
are
point.
the trolliest spot.
I told you, Tornell %, best percent. I tell you that all the time.
On the other hand, though, for that we did get the hint of where that last ball of thunder is. It's either in Fog Lamp or Carissa Plant.
That's right.
At the same time, we know that the bow itself isn't there, so you know, actually going for that is probably going to be a near last location play.
I mean, the fact that they have 2 other bracelets, I wouldn't go there if it were me. But... Although, K-Fal's probably wishing he had it right now.
So Sabera 2, one of the higher defense, more hit bosses that you have to take out here. Even with the power ring, taking a few hits here.
Cross probably did not get that barrier.
Or the power ring.
Yeah, or the power rings. Definitely a disadvantage in equipment. Man, Sabera at 38 scaling just has so much HP. Or I guess it's really her defense, right?
That's right, yeah.
Even with the power ring, it's still taking this long. Can you imagine how long it's going to take Cross to beat this boss?
He's probably not looking forward to it. On the other hand, though, it's a spot where you can, with a little effort, you can use the sword charge glitch and come here and get your level 3 sword. That would make it a lot easier.
Yeah, especially with Fly, it does not take long to fly back to that spot in Zebu's room there, where you can sword charge glitch. Warrior ring! After all that.
So Kfal does not have. He only has level 1 on his fire sword. Actually, he's gonna find another one in this area
Yes,
before he
luckily
gets
for
to
him.
Mado. So that'll probably help a lot. And he's got the warrior ring, which will probably be what he uses against Mado.
There it is.
I believe he has recover.
Never mind, I forgot Cross had not gone through this area. He's totally lost again. I don't know why I was thinking he came down. He left and came back into the front. Oh, I missed they found paralysis earlier.
Oh, another trade-in spot.
Yes, another trade-in on Jerk Kenzu, I'll call him.
It's kind of something that we've noticed in a lot of these seeds that Kensu, he is all of his checks are one-offs, and they're they're often, for some reason, he's been paying off a lot in these fights.
He definitely has. Him and Deo both, really. I feel like.
Crossproduct executing the sword charge glitch, getting a lag storm on Sabera 2, which is going to make this no power ring fight a lot easier. Just short of getting another, but still does it. So that sword charge glitch really paying off. He was able to beat Sabera 2 much faster than Kfal.
So Cross has 2 more bosses, but he's down 2 bows. Or 1 bow, sorry. 1 bow.
But what is he doing back here?
Checking Kensu? Or not? I figured it's... Oh, he was in Bryn Mawr, never mind.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Sorry, I thought it was Swan at first. Oh, he hasn't done Killbest yet, so that's what he's doing now, probably.
Yeah, that's a good play. He'll get his, that's where the power ring was. Yeah, he'll be getting some important...
So Kfal definitely using the Warrior Ring like you said, but having a little bit of trouble there on the first attempt. I don't think he got his weakness okay. So is it possible that a level 1 charge could not hurt or would tank Mado with the skin?
That's right. You could hear the tink sound if your power level is just too low. But he's got all of his swords on level 2 now.
I would think that's enough. Okay. Oh, I thought he was weak to fire. It wasn't fire. That was Oh, I thought. Huh, okay. Oh, was Mado 1 was weak to fire then? Which one was it?
I think that was it, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's why I got confused, because this whole time I was thinking he's gonna use fire, and then... Anyway. So Crossproduct going back to do Sabera 1 now. That's his last boss. And the last bow was in here, or not the last bow, but the bow of truth was in here. And they'll both be hunting that last bow after this, so really it's anybody's race still. So some of the places that bow could be, you mentioned Tornell and Saber.
Yeah, that's what I'm pulling for.
Other than those 2 places, where could it be? We know it's not in Foglamp or Crease Plant.
We got the insect.
Oh, we had insects, that's all true.
Kfal having some trouble with Mado 2 here.
Oh, they didn't clear out the rest of Windmill Cave, did they?
That's right. That's actually a pretty high percentage play.
Oh, someone was asking about Kfal's fight. Sorry, I just now saw your comment. He didn't have the best equipment to fight that fight, and he was just doing his best with what he had. That's why it looked like it was kind of a crazy fight. Because you're intended to have the bracelet before you fight these fights, and he did not have the bracelet required to defeat that boss. Oh, it was wind on this. I don't know why we thought fire. Okay, so PMAkfal now has all the bosses defeated that are required to finish the seed with these flags. He just needs to find that last bow. Did Cross get his last bow? I'm guessing he did, right? Or not his last bow, but his bow of truth. I keep saying the wrong thing. Yes, he did. Okay, I saw it there.
Okay, good, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was in the other spot in here. Just wanted to make sure. Make sure he checks Clark, which I think was just a consumable, right?
I think so, yeah.
So PMAkfal is going to do the power ring spot, I'm guessing. No, he already did that, right? I thought he checked that. Is he going to do...
Did he actually beat Mado too?
Did he not? I assumed he did. Maybe you're right, maybe he didn't.
He may have noped out, intending to come into the back here and sword charge glitch it.
I bet you're right. Oh, let's see what Kensu has here. This is the bow. This could be the game. Oh, why is this plant? It's gonna be Tornell. I bet he does insect next, though. He's thinking. I like how he paused it right when Kensu was teleporting away. Nope, he's going to Tornell, looks like.
But then PMAkfal he didn't execute the glitch.
Oh, you're right. He knew he was weak to thunder, so I wonder why. Maybe he messed up, didn't mean to do that? I think he had level 3 at first. When he came in here, I thought he did at least.
I mean, you have to blow up that wall, and so if it's something besides thunder, then you have to blow up the wall and then go back and do the... Can't switch the swords, but...
like you said.
Yeah, this is a pretty high percentage play.
What, 3 more checks here, including the vampire?
That's right.
Any of these could be the bow. Very good chance. That's wart boots.
And as soon as Cross finds that bow, he's probably going to be out of here.
Oh, you're right. It was Severe one that was weak to fire. Okay. Bow of Sun, there it is. Wow.
Okay,
this
cross product is in
race.
go mode, and PMAkfal's problems on Mado 2, it looks like, is going to cost him the race here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I thought for sure he had a lead. I mean, he definitely did at one point. It felt like he did at least. But...
Yeah, I think his lead evaporated during some of those deaths of Mado 2.
Oh, that doesn't help either. Those are definitely some of the worst moments when you take a death like that and you know it's bad and it's slowing you down. It just feels awful. Just the worst feeling ever. At least for me, it does.
And this area can be rough, especially you get flail guys, and he's equipping the... did he equip the power ring?
I missed
So
it. I'm assuming he did.
He's gonna take the alternate route. This is a slightly longer route through Carmine's area here, but it's it can give you fewer enemies or easier enemies.
Well, the good thing about this is a best of 3, so we still have to play at least one more match. So he's not out of this by any means at this point. I mean, and you know, he could, breeze through Mado now, and Cross probably could die on Dinah, or the tower, or Grey Gun, and he'd be right back in it. I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
They do have pretty good equipment here, but at the same time, that's a level 45 scaling is nothing to sneeze at. It's a pretty,
those robots in the
strong...
tower will be very beefy. It's amazing the difference between like a 37 and 47 tower. It's pretty large. Making short work of Mado there, so now he's just on his hunt for the last bow. Let's see how long it takes him to check the spot where it's at.
Oh, and PMAkfal hasn't gotten the Flute of Lime hint that crossproduct got. That was, yeah. He's probably. I mean, and that's not a bad play. It's just the way that the routing ended up.
Does he have the Flute of Lime at all?
I believe it was in. Oh, and he's not even going to check that. He's going to go straight to the Fog Lamp Cave, which we know isn't going to have it.
No, the only thing he'll find in here or in Crystalis Plant is the Storm Bracelet. Where did he get the Flute of Lime? I can't even remember. I thought PMAkfal should have it by now.
Might have been somewhere in Goa, Carmine.
Was it Hydra, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
So crossproduct is making his way up to the final, not the final boss, but the second to final boss. The final true boss, I guess. Yeah, so you told me that if you are a pixel off, that's when he does the fire attack. I never realized that.
Yeah. So a lot of times he does that fire attack twice in a row. So if you kind of hang out next to him and you see that fire attack, you can tink off his wings and get him to shoot the laser.
It's definitely good to know. I was trying to use Steve's spot down there, but I guess I must have been just barely off. Wow, that was a really good pattern, really quick Dragon fight there. Yeah, with the equipment they have, barrier, level 3 charges of stuff, the fire, power ring, it should be fairly straightforward tower, 13 scaling, or 13 level, I mean.
Crossproduct's going to show us how you do the fire, sort of fire tower here.
Yeah, I think it's definitely my favorite way to do it now. Especially when you're coming from the other direction for the robots, because you can trap them in the doorway if you time it just right. Without having to do tank strats or anything. Or stab strats, I mean. Plus, you know, Sword of Fire, level 3 charges use way less MP than, like, Sword of Thunder.
It's usually more consistent, though, to kind of use that thunder or that fire kind of tornado kind of up, and that way you trap them against the bottom of the wall there. There's plenty of MP still. He should be fine here. And PMAkfal, I guess, is going to Hydra now? Guess so. Which he hasn't done this, so it's... Oh, he got the second item that you can get without Wind Sword, but he didn't get the rest of the item. So 3 checks versus wherever else he can go right now. It's not a bad play as far as density goes, but we all know there's nothing here for him, unfortunately. Yeah, so I noticed the other day you were using Sword of Wind on the tower. I think you said it was just to see how it went. Yeah, it's workable, but I don't think it's as fast as fire if you can, do the fire. If you kind of have practice. I would definitely use wind over water, though. Oh yeah, water is the worst. It's just so
dangerous more than anything. Now I can attest that Tornado is better than level 2 charges of fire.
Especially if you've got the power ring.
Yeah. That was before it got improved.
You get his Crystalis sword, head of the tower, and fight the real final boss, Diane.
Go full Contra on this here.
While PMAkfal making the play we knew that he had to make to come back here and get his bow.
Ross, I guess he's just man-moding it. Forget barrier. Stein is not being cooperative. Now he's going back to barrier. And cross-product finishing in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 21 seconds.
GG's to Cross.
GG's. That was a pretty good race, gotta say. Went back and forth several times. I thought it was pretty much over, and it wasn't.
A very respectable time for clearing out this much of the game and finishing with a 45 scaling.
So we can click on his... Oh, we could have switched to his audio, I guess. I didn't think about that. Oh well. Too late now. So Cross should be joining us soon for some thoughts on that seed. As PMAkfal makes his way up to Dragon after getting his last bow.
So this is a best 2 out of 3 match, and I don't believe we have the second match scheduled quite yet.
Last I checked, we did not. It looks like Cross is in the chat with us. Welcome, Cross. GG's.
GG.
That was a really fun race to watch, I have to say. Went back and forth several times.
Oh, neat. I felt really behind on scaling at a couple points, and I was like, man, these guys take a really long time to kill. So
Yeah,
I just
so-
let it fall behind for a bit.
PMAkfal got the power ring way earlier than you did. But it didn't end up making that much difference in the end like we thought it would.
I see he went for the storm bracelet. I just decided.
Well, he didn't have the Fruit of Lime like you did, so he didn't get the tip on that.
Yeah, I like to try to wait till I have Flute of Lime before going in the waterfall. It doesn't always pay off, but I think the information... I mean, there wasn't anything on Akahana, but the information was probably worth waiting for the Flute of Lime to go in there.
It definitely paid off in the end, I'd say.
Yeah, PMAkfal did the waterfall cave right away, and he picked up his, Stixie key and his, and that bow, but he didn't get the information, so he ended up going through the fog lamp.
Yeah, I think having the key to Stixie there wasn't too bad because we wouldn't be able to get there without flight in this seed anyway. So, if the horrible thing is if you get key to Stixie and don't have flight and you're running out of options and you're like, I gotta go in there and get half the items. That always feels bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about missing out on the Storm Bracelet. I had a couple boss fights. Maybe lost me a lot of time by not having the Storm Bracelet. The only thing I was afraid of was that Tornell wanted the Storm Bracelet to give me the last bow.
That's what we were hoping. So the interesting is, KFAL did not get the Storm Bracelet until after he was done with Goa, so he didn't have that for Goa either.
Oh, wow.
He was looking for the last bow when he found that.
I forget where the other ball thingy was, where the other Orb of Thunder was.
Somewhere early on, I forget, like Oasis or something. I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, that was really what the difference was in this seed at the end of there. He had to leave and come back to do Mado 2 again. He just could not get through. So he actually sword charged Glitch and went back to him to beat him.
Yeah, even fighting Mado 2 with Thunder 2 wasn't really fun. But, I mean, even if you had something like Warrior Ring or Power Ring, it wouldn't have been too bad, but it was kind of a rough fight. I thought the fun thing was that Lawrence did say that Opal statue cures status effects when you get the statue revival. I used one, actually, a poison tick killed me, and the Opal statue revived me. I was like, oh, whatever, I guess this isn't the worst thing in the world, but then I realized I wasn't poisoned anymore. I was like, oh, this is great. And then later on, during the Carmine fight, I got turned into a blob. And then immediately hit, and Opal statue went off and cured my blob status. I'm like, that's pretty nifty. One of my favorite things about the seed was actually vanilla sort of water for rage.
Yeah,
And then not needing the ball to get the answering machine message, so I was able to just check him off and head toward Portoa and get behind the throne room immediately, but neither Leaf nor Portoa sold medical herbs, so that felt bad. But
it's funny, you both had to go back for the dolphin later.
yeah, and I scrolled too fast through the whirlpool hint, and I was like, I should reset. It might be important. I'm like,
yeah, it's a good thing you did.
Yeah, okay, it's good to know. That rolled right into Evil Spirit Island. I thought actually that was probably a funny thing about this seed was normally you have to go to Evil Spirit Island in order to calm the Angry Sea, but in this episode you had to calm the Angry Sea in order to go to Evil Spirit Island.
It's true. It is funny.
Alright, any other questions for me, or guess we'll get back to when we figure out when we're going to schedule our next race. Kafal's not available in the next couple days, and we'll see. I'll talk to him. Maybe we can do Sunday. I don't know yet.
That was pretty much the only question I had, actually, so definitely looking forward to your next race. Or maybe 2 races.
Maybe.
I won't tell him you said that. Any other thoughts, Zax? Alright, well.
Thanks for commentating, guys. Have yourselves a great rest of your night.
You too. So KFAL just finishing up his seed here on the Dyna fight, taking the barrier safe strat. What? What was that? I don't know if he's just trolling us or what.
Bizarre. He's trying to contact you telepathically here.
Trying to get a hold of me for some tips, huh? So KFAL finishing up here with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 57 seconds. So around 7.5 minutes behind Cross.
GG's to KFAL.
I can't wait to see what he has to say about this seed. I have to say, I'm not too upset with how this one turned out for a Tornell rolled seed, since Matrick wasn't here. Definitely worked out in the end for our viewers, I think. Oh, GG's KFAL. Last time he had some issues with Discord. Okay, he says hang on. So hopefully he'll be in here in just a minute. Guess we can talk more about the tournament, what's upcoming. So, as we just talked about, these two have at least one more race left. Whoever wins this match will take on the winner of myself and Dragon Dark, our best of 2 or 3.
And the next match coming up is tomorrow night, which is going to be myself and Matrick in the winners bracket final.
Semi-final.
Hello? Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
There we go. Awesome. You know what? That's what happens when you have toddlers and they are on mess with the computer. So all the settings are changed.
We're glad you could join us.
Oh, thanks. No Cross? Did Cross not pop in?
He did, but he had to go.
Bummer. I wanted to say GG to Cross. Yeah, Mato too is a jerk. I don't know what I was thinking when I ran in and blew the door open, and then I walked back to do sword charge glitch. I'm like, wait a second. It was sort of thunder. I didn't have
wondering about that.
Yeah.
Maybe you couldn't remember, or
my mind was on gonna do sword charge glitch. I'm pissed off at Mato, gonna do sword charge glitch, and here's what I gotta do, and then I'm like, wait a second. And the last time I did that, he wasn't weak to thunder, so I did have to go back. So that was just stuck in my head.
Yeah, that's had that happened several times in this tournament. You think it's the previous race in your current race, or previous seed in your current seed, and I get all messed up.
Yep. It was a promising start. I thought it was going to be really I was like, okay, this is going to go, and then it's like, wait.
And then it wasn't.
I felt good. I felt good when I went and got teleport when I did, because that definitely helped early. Having teleport early, there wasn't a lot of options for grinding for money early. So when I didn't have to do that, it was nice.
Yeah, you got teleport quite a bit earlier than Cross did. You also got the powering way earlier than Cross.
Yeah, and then I just decided to, throw it around and not actually benefit from that. But yeah, good times.
He didn't do Kelbesk until after Goa, until it was pretty much his last boss, I think, was Kelbesk. Or one of his last bosses. I think Severa one was actually his last boss.
Yeah, that should have paid off better for me. I just didn't take advantage of that as much as I should have. So, didn't play the best, but Cross is freaking good. He's he's good.
Oh, one thing we wanted to ask you, did you have the Flute of Lime?
I did, I just forgot to mark it on my tracker. I thought about going in and checking, and I don't know, when I went to the Fog Lamp Cave, I was like, I could check Flute of Lime now and see what's back there, or see what in one of the two caves, or I can just go in anyway, and it was one other check. I felt like there were more checks just going straight in at that point. When I was just looking for Bow of Moon.
Yeah, Cross did. That's another thing Cross did earlier than you, and he knew that there were no bows in either of those caves. He didn't check those.
Well, what did the hint say? Did it tell about the Storm Bracelet? Because
I think it said either Storm Bracelet or I think it was Storm Bracelet though.
Okay. Well, I also blew right past the Asina scene and was like, oh crap, I forgot to check what was there. And I thought it said Power Ring. So I was like, okay. So I went, and when I got the Sword of Wind, I'm like, I'm glad I came back to do this. So
yeah, definitely good thing you did, because having a sword there is pretty rare and definitely important at that point.
Yeah, I realized, I blew through it because I got early answering machine, and I was just trying to get all the items from her. I'm not used to reading that early.
Yeah, how'd you like No Medical Herbs and Leaf or Portoa?
Oh man, that was brutal. And I was so afraid that I was gonna forget that dolphin, which wasn't anything anyway. But
Yeah, both of you went back pretty much as soon as you could, and it was
Yeah,
fun,
'cause-
really.
I didn't want that to burn me. So, but yeah, it was that was a seed, that's for sure.
I gotta pat myself on the back for this one.
Oh, did you roll that one?
I did, because Matrick, something came up, and I guess he couldn't get the seed to you. So.
God, don't do that again. I don't think anyone's allowed to roll seeds anymore.
Pretty much. I mean, Axe hasn't been banned as far as I know, so I guess
Yet.
he can do it.
Yet he will be. Trust me. He will be.
I mean, anybody that's watched my stream recently, which I know nobody does, but I've had a lot of trolley seeds lately, so nobody wants me rolling seeds. But...
Yeah, I didn't really practice this flag set as much because the new patch for Final Fantasy XIV came out yesterday. So, of course, all the new raid content, and that's where I've been. And then I was like, oh man, I gotta race. But no, GG's the cross. I wish he was in here. I wish I could tell him.
the good news is it's best of 3, so you still have one more match to pull
Uh,
this back.
I do. Maybe we can make it to a 3. I don't think it'll be like yours and Axeman's match 2 though. I don't think anything. I don't think anything can touch that.
As good as that match was, I'm still really sad about how our third match went. Still really sad about that.
No, I don't know that match 2. Your game 2 is probably the best race in the whole tournament so far. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I still can't get over the 8 seconds. It's crazy.
Yep. Which is you beat me in the showcase
Yes.
race by what 3 seconds or 6
It was-
seconds?
3 or
So-
5 or something. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really close.
So, oh man, good times. So, well, I have to do this at least one more time.
You don't sound so disappointed.
Oh yeah.
Nah, it's fun. It's this randomizer. What Matrick and them have done, and Steve with this is incredible. It's so well done. It's so much fun. Every time I think that they've done everything they could, they add something else to it. So, if you don't, anyone who's here at Speed Gaming watching, if you don't play this, do it, play it. It's fun. It's a blast. And it's action all the time. There's not really any downtime. It's just go for hour and 15 minutes.
It makes it so hard to commentate. There's so many times where you both would be in like places with tons of checks. We'd miss checks every time. We're like, uh-oh.
I
Hopefully
thought
we'll catch it when the other, because you guys would go like back and forth a lot. So we're like, well, hopefully when KPAL goes there, we'll get what that was, or when Cross goes there, we'll figure it out. Hopefully, but oh man, it's just insane, so fast.
and I knew that this one with Sword of Fire so early was going to open it. There's a lot of potential for divergence. So there was, I mean, the whole first half of the game was completely open right away. And then as soon as we found flight, the whole game's open right there.
Pretty much,
So-
yeah. It was insane and it was fun, and we were hoping that at the end there that you'd have to get the Storm Bracelet and go to Tornell, get the final bow. It didn't work out that way. But...
I almost went there just to be like, it's hour and 10 minutes in. Cross has probably lapped me by now. I didn't have the thing up, so I was like, I might as well check it. But then I tried to call Stom during the Dino fight, and I realized you can't use telepathy.
Dude, Stom's dead at that point.
I was gonna call someone and see what they had to
I
say.
mean, he's
but
napping. Sorry.
it didn't work. So- Oh, but it was fun. Thank you guys for commentating as usual, and Speed Gaming for hosting and everything. Good times. Like I said, this is if you haven't tried the randomizer, try it. Just action all the time. Just a lot of fun. It's adrenaline rush for a good 60 to 90 minutes.
Well, thanks for an awesome race. I mean, if you watch the replay, you'll hear me saying, "Oh, this is over," and then I said like 2 or 3 times, and I was wrong every single time. So
That's awesome. That's great. But that'll be good. So, and I'll have to shoot Cross a message and congratulate him too.
all right, well, GG's again.
Thanks a lot. Thank you guys. GG to Cross, if you're listening or sleeping, whatever he's doing. So, And yeah, thank you.
And on that, I guess we'll be ending this round of this current match, I guess, of the Crystalis tournament. Thanks again to SpeedGaming for hosting our tournament, and thanks again to our runners. Give them a follow, PMAkfal and crossproduct. Crossproduct does a lot of streaming on Twitch. Thanks again to Matrick and Steve for the randomizer they've put together and for running this tournament. It's been really fun. Thanks to my co-commentator, the Axeman. Check him out at his stream, the Axeman301. My stream is Tornell357. Give us both follows if you enjoyed today's stream. And we'll see you again tomorrow, right? For our match with Axeman and Matrick.
That's right.
So, thanks again.